How do you measure the weight of a crown? Do you count the jewels, the years it's been worn, or do you measure it by the strength of the challengers who want to rip it from your head?
That's the question, isn't it, Joe? And for one man, Lee Sang-hyeok, better known as Faker, that crown has been a part of him for 15 years. But this weekend in Chengdu, China, he faces a challenge that feels different. This is more than just a game.
It's the grand final of the 2025 League of Legends World Championship, and it is dripping with history. T1, the reigning two-time champions, are looking for an unprecedented third consecutive title, and standing in their way is their oldest, most bitter rival, KT Rolster.
They call it the Telecom War, a rivalry that goes back decades, even before League of Legends, to the days of StarCraft. Two South Korean communications giants battling for supremacy. But for KT Rolster, this is their first ever appearance in a World's final. For T1, it's their fourth in a row, the definition of a David versus Goliath story, if David and Goliath owned competing cell phone companies.
Exactly. And let's be clear about T1's journey here. It was anything but smooth. They barely scraped their way into Worlds as the fourth seed from Korea. They started the Swiss stage with a shaky 1-2 record, looking vulnerable. But then something clicked. They went on a tear, taking down top Chinese teams in the knockouts, including a 3-0 demolition of top esports in the semis. It's classic T1. They look mortal, then they remind you why they're legends.
On the other side, you have KT Rolster, the team riding the underdog story of the year. They've lost only one single game this entire tournament. In the semifinals, they did the unthinkable. They dismantled Gen.G, the team everyone picked to win it all. KT is playing with a confidence that borders on terrifying.
The head-to-head record is brutally one-sided, though. T1 has dominated KT for years, but stats don't tell the whole story, do they, Jane? The real story here is about one player, the man at the center of it all, Faker.
He's 29 years old. In esports years, that's ancient. He's been a professional player since 2013. He dropped out of high school to pursue this, and in the early days, he said he started reading voraciously because he felt a need to keep learning, to build his intellectual life. Think about that mindset. He wasn't just playing a game, he was building a life, a philosophy.
They call him the Unkillable Demon King, and for years he was. From 2013 to 2017, he was on another plane of existence. Just solo killing him once was a career achievement for other pros. He's won 5 world championships, more than any other player or organization. He's the Michael Jordan of his sport, and even in China, Korea's biggest rival, fans show up in droves just to get a glimpse of him.
But that title, Unkillable Demon King, it casts a long shadow. I've watched him through the years, the victories in 2015 and 2016, but also the tears in 2017 when he lost, the struggles, the injuries. In 2022, a wrist injury sidelined him, and his team just fell apart without him. It showed how much he is the soul of that team. He carries the weight of not just his team, but the expectations of millions.
And that's the core of this final, isn't it? It's the ultimate test of legacy versus destiny. T1, the established dynasty, against KT Rolster, the team that has lived in their shadow forever and is now having its moment in the sun. KT has the momentum, the confidence, and nothing to lose. T1 has the experience, the history, and all the pressure.
What if this is it? What if this is the last time we see Faker on the stage? He's talked about it, not about records, but about legacy. He said, "I hope to be remembered as someone who inspired fans and helped more people reach what they want." He's not thinking about his 6th trophy. He's thinking about what he leaves behind.
His passion, he says, comes from the daily grind and the journey, not the accolades themselves. It's such a pure, almost philosophical approach to competition. But philosophy doesn't win you games. KT Rolster is a tactical powerhouse. They showed against Gen.G that they can innovate and adapt. They aren't going to be starstruck. They want to tear down the monarchy.
So, we're left with this incredible human drama playing out in a digital arena. You have an entire generation of fans who have grown up with Faker. He's been the one constant in a world that changes every few months with new patches and metas. He's more than a player, he's a touchstone, a living legend.
And every legend has a final chapter. The question is whether this is it. Is this the coronation of an unprecedented three-peat dynasty, cementing T1 as the greatest of all time? Or is it the story of the king finally being overthrown by his oldest rival, the one who has waited longest for their shot at the throne?
No matter who lifts that trophy, I think Faker has already won in a way. He helped build this world. When he started, pro gamer was an unusual job. Now, millions watch, and he's a global icon. This final isn't just the end of a tournament, it's a celebration of the world he helped create.
A world where the Unkillable Demon King faces one last epic battle. This weekend, we don't just find out who the best team of 2025 is. We might just find out how a legend's story ends.
This podcast combines verified reports with expert analysis and narrative storytelling. Some dialogues may be dramatized for clarity, but all facts are sourced from credible media.